Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. So we have a lot of news to cover today. So it's going to be a long video. There's going to be the chapters down below for you guys to skip to the sections that you want to see. So we have obviously a marathon to talk about. They're diluting quite a bit, and there's a question as to why they're doing it right now. I don't have the answer for it, but we'll discuss it nonetheless. Then we also have to take a look at the production updates for Argo, DMG, Hive, Bitdeer, Core Scientific, and I think that is it. Hive is in there, Argo, yeah. So there's a lot to cover. As always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Spam posts get reported and deleted. I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Marathon, and then we'll get into the other news stories. We'll take a look at the markets as well a little bit at the end. So here is Marathon. So Marathon Digital Holdings announces private exchange of approximately 417 million of 1% convertible notes due until 2026 for shares of common stock. So they're diluting to pay off some of the debt that they have, about 700 million and change there. Here's what the company had to say. The company has entered into a privately negotiated exchange agreements with certain holders of its 1% convertible senior notes due 2026, and to exchange approximately 417 million aggregate principal amount of the notes held by such holders for an aggregate of approximately 26.2 million newly issued shares of Marathon common stock based upon the per share closing price of the company's common stock as of September 7th, so yesterday actually. 23, because today's the 8th. So my question here is, did those shareholders or notes held by such holders, principals, what are they called? The exchanges, let me see, certain holders of the 1% convertible senior notes, did they approach Marathon possibly and say, hey, we need the cash back for whatever reason it might be? They don't want to wait until 2026. Don't know. Could be that, or it could be that Marathon just wants to pay down some of the debt that they do have outstanding, just to make their balance sheet look a little bit better going forward. That could be it also. I mean, because right now, 1% convertible senior notes not due until 2026. I would think you would want to wait until possibly sometime next year, or even into 2025 possibly, when we get into the Bitcoin bull run with Bitcoin, and we start getting closer to above the 69,000, close to 100,000 with Bitcoin. At that point, the stock price should be valued a lot more, and you're diluting a heck of a lot less. So I'm kind of surprised why they did this. They didn't really provide why, but they just stated that they are doing it. The good news is Marathon will not receive any cash proceeds from the issuance of the shares of its common stock, and the final number of shares that Marathon will issue will be determined over a number of days. Marathon will also pay investors in cash for accrued and unpaid interest on the exchange notes. In certain circumstances, during a short period following today's announcement, the transaction size could be reduced or the entire transaction could be canceled. Why would that happen? I have no idea. Obviously, the stock took a tumble today. It was down almost 15%, if not more. We take a quick look at it over here. Let's see here, if we can pull this up. Marathon today it finished out down 11.73%, but it was actually down to a close or a low of $10.43. So it was down 15% something, which is pretty close to what the dilution is going to be with the 26 million shares. If you calculate what they have now, add that on top of it, you're looking at about 14.8, 14.9% dilution at this rate. So that was obviously interesting to see that the way the market reacted to it and basically brought it down to where it's going to be afterwards. After completing the exchange is approximately 331 million aggregate principal amount of the notes will remain outstanding. So that's good there. The exchanges could affect the market price of Marathon's common stock. Well, we saw that happen today. The stock was down 15%. People didn't obviously like this, and people obviously were questioning, why is this happening? And I have no idea. They didn't provide the reason why they're doing it. I'm thinking maybe, like I said, the note holders asked to be repaid earlier or something like that, and Marathon was, happy to oblige that request possibly, so they could possibly get funds down the road. You pat my back, you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of deal. Who knows? But this is kind of what we got going on. So like I said, I was a little surprised that they did this right now. They have another 2 years basically before they have to do this. They could have waited when the share price was much higher. At that point, they diluted a heck of a lot less, but they did what they did, and now we have to live with it. Okay, so that will get updated obviously to the number of shares they had when they actually report again, to see if they diluted anything else during that period as well. But I may just add the number 26 million, or if we find out something from them as far as how much they diluted, we'll actually put that up on our chart or the data sheet that I have for them. Okay, but here's what it kind of looks out as far as what the impact of that is. This is their well, this is my kind of estimates for Marathon. Before the dilution, we were looking at PE of 20 with $14.70 and $22.05 based on historical 3 quarters and the current quarter that we're in. If we were looking forward to looking at the last month's revenue, multiplying it times 7 months before the halving event, and then 50% after that for 5 months, we would get $16.12 to $24.18. Now, if we look at the dilution that's going to happen here, this is what we get now. Now the numbers are down by about $2 here on the current or past figures, and for the future it's about $3 down, 21.07, right, for the higher part of it, and here was 24.18, so down $3 from that. That's what happens with dilution on it. Okay, so that's it for that one. Let me know what you guys think about it, what's going on with Marathon. Maybe we'll get some answers coming down the road. We just don't know, but we'll keep you guys posted if it does happen. Okay, let's get into Argo here. Argo announces their August operational update. And here's what we have for them. The company mined 105 Bitcoin or Bitcoin equivalents. The reduction in BTC mined from July 2023 is primarily due to economic curtailment at Helios, which generated significant power credits that the company expects will more than offset the foregone revenue from the curtailment. So we've seen a lot of companies do that are based in the South and Texas, especially closer to, well, mainly in the South, especially when we've had the warm weather, the heat waves and everything else. They do curtail quite a bit there. Mining revenue in August amounted to $2.93 million, a decrease of 24% compared to the prior month. However, we expect a significant higher mining margin percentage in the month of August due to the estimated power credits. So instead of getting a mining margin of 35, 45%, whatever it might be a little bit higher than that, 55, 60, whatever it could be at. We'll find that out when they report the quarterly results in about 2.5 months or so for Q3. And then as of August 31st, the company held 49 BTC. During the month of August, the company installed and energized 900 block miner machines, representing approximately 95 petahash at its Quebec facilities. So that was good there. So let's take a look at the numbers that we do have for Argo, and we'll get on to the next one. So Argo has about 53 million shares outstanding. Stock price is $1.10. Market cap 58 million right now. Current hash rate is at 2.7. Future hash rate should be the same as that one. That should be updated here, I believe. Let me see here. 2.7. Where's the future? 2.6. Okay. So sometimes I catch these mistakes while I'm recording, which is not always great. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. They're supposed to install some more miners. Not sure exactly how many, but we'll get that updated when they do. Their weekly performance here has been kind of mixed. So they're up 10% from 12 weeks ago. They're down 44% from 8 weeks ago. They're down 20% from 4 weeks ago, and they were up actually last week 12.87%. So that was actually a pretty good week for them. Their BTC HODL right now is at 49 as reported. That's valued at about 1.2 million. And then their BTC HODL, you can see here, has been, it has been coming down for quite a while here since last August. They had almost 1,100 Bitcoin at that point. They sold a lot, half of it in September. And then they sold a lot also into October. And then they were kind of up and down here a little bit. They bottomed out in May with, or actually in June with 44 Bitcoins. And they've been slowly adding to their stack here a little bit. Month over month BTC production, you can see that there. This is their BTC production here. Last year, they had 235 Bitcoins. In August this year, 105. So pretty significant decrease in that. And we're seeing that across the board with all the miners that aren't growing faster than the network hash rate. They're not able to keep up with that, and that generates less Bitcoins for them. BTC exahash efficiency is down to 38 because they did curtail quite a bit here. How much they've been selling BTC, you can take a look at that as well. They sold 102, it looks like, this month around. Hash rate has increased here nicely in July. Well, it did increase a little bit here. It increased about 130 petahash in July, another 95 petahash, something like that or I have it actually less than that in August. But their monthly revenue has also been kind of up and down here. Their best month was obviously in May. May was attributable to a lot of transaction fees from the Bitcoin network that helped out a lot of the miners. And then that has been coming down here as they curtailed more towards the summer months in the summer. Monthly hash rate difference, you can see that they were pretty much flat here all the way through, well, since August. They installed a little bit in August. But other than that, they were pretty much stuck at 2.5 exahash for almost a full year, except for the last 2 months they installed a little bit here, it looks like. BTC sold value, so this is how much they're selling. They're not selling everything. They are putting some back into HODL, but not that much. Last 4 quarters, we talked about that in the quarterly results. and other metrics as well. Looking at the institutions and analysts that I got updated today for them, institutions stay the same, but the number of shares increased to 646,000 from 459,000, so that's good there. Percentage owned also went up to 1.21% from 0.86%, which is good. And then as far as analyst ratings, we still have one strong buy, one buy rating, 3 hold ratings, 1 underperform rating, 0 sell ratings. Price targets actually went down here to $2.75 from $3.75. For the high, average went down to $1.73 from $1.88, and the low stayed the same at $1. Based on that, if we look at what they actually mined this month around in August, I had them mining basically for about 16.51 days on average, it looks like. And we installed some miners here to get us to the 2.7 exahash, which they reported. So obviously quite a bit of curtailment there from them, unfortunately. But they, like they said, the power curtailment credits will help offset some of that into being, well, better margins on that one. With all that being said, I still have them with a P of 5 here, looking at the last 3 quarters and the current quarter that we're in, which is an estimate. I'm at $2.08 to $3.13. And they're currently at $1.10, obviously, so I think they're still way undervalued. But I think the fear in investors is their lack of growth going forward. And if they're not growing, they're going to be generating less and less Bitcoin. Unless Bitcoin starts actually going up, their revenue will be increasing because of that. But that's the only reason it's going to do that, is if Bitcoin goes up in value. Now, if we look at the future estimates, we look at what they generated in revenue for August, multiply that times 7 months before the halving event at full, and then multiply the rest of the 5 months at 50%. We end up with 27 million roughly. P/5 on that, we're $1.30 to $1.95. Analyst estimates are pretty close to where I have them at. They're a little bit under for my high, but still pretty close to that right now. Between a low of $1.30, they got $1. I got a high of $3.13 to $2.75, and then if we're looking forward to it, $1.95. So we're kind of right in that range, anyways. Okay, let me know what you guys think of Argo, and let's get into the next one. So the next one's going to be on DMG. Let's take a look at here. DMG is going to be pretty quick as well. So DMG Blockchain Solution announces August mining results, upcoming events, management interview. Don't really care about that. All we care about really is their mining update. So DMG mined 46.7 Bitcoin with 0.67 exahash realized hash rate. So this is basically what they're saying is their average hash rate for the month. They were operating at, I think I have them at 917 petahash for the month, or where they're installed. So they're operating about 2/3 of what they have installed. DMG's Bitcoin balance as of August 31st was 477 Bitcoin, and DMG's realized hash rate was well below its installed nameplate hash rate due to mainly ongoing heat issues. So the weather, they probably had to curtail some as well. That's all we have here. So let's take a look at DMG by my numbers. Let's see, they are right there. Okay, DMG has 167 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at 22 cents right now. Market cap is at 36.8 million right now. The performance also has been kind of not that great over the last 12 weeks. They're up 6.7 from 12 weeks ago, down 38% from 8 weeks ago, down 30% from 4 weeks ago, and up only 0.9% from last week. Things will change, obviously, but at the end of this week when we do the numbers again for them. They currently have 917 petahash installed. Future hash rate is supposed to be about 1.2. I believe they stated they want to grow beyond that, but they haven't reported anything being bought yet. So this is kind of where we have them at right now. Their BTC production here peaked in December of last year. This was also when Bitcoin basically bottomed out for the most part, it seems like, and rebounded from that. But obviously, their production they haven't kept up with the hash rate, network hash rate increases by getting miners installed. So they've been producing less and less Bitcoin pretty much each month here. And going down here, 477 Bitcoin HODL is valued at about 12.3 million. Here's their month-over-month difference as far as what they mined. BTC HODL has peaked in May with 570, so they've been selling quite a bit here recently. I'm guessing to fund operations because, well, Bitcoin's going down in value and everything else right now, and there's you need to fund operations. BTC per exahash efficiency did come down here as well, improved from July, which is good to see, but they're at 50.93 based on what I have them at. BTC sold, this is the number of BTCs that they sold each month. 92 was in August. And then hash rate, like I said, was pretty much stuck there at 917 petahash the whole time here since December of last year. So like I said, they haven't installed any miners really since that time frame, which is why you're seeing the decrease in BTC production. Okay, value of revenue also peaked here, looks like in April with 2.12 million, and they're down to 1.3 million now in August. Bitcoin price has come down a little bit from then, and hash rate difficulty or hash rate difference from month to month. Why do I have 80 here? That should not be 80. Let's take a look at this. I probably have something wrong in my math here. I just noticed that should be all the same here. 917, 80. Okay, that should be better. Oh, yeah, that should be good. Okay, BTC sold value, how much they actually sold. That's for quarter results. We talked about that in the quarterly results when they do those. And let's take a look at here. Institutions. So institutions did stay the same here at 6. Shares stayed the same. Percentage stayed the same. We still have one strong buy rating, one buy rating. Price target of 73 cents for the high, 48 cents for the low, or for the average, and 23 cents for the low. That is an increase from where they were prior, which was 23 cents across the board here. Obviously, let's take a look at how many days they actually mined here in August. We'll talk about that. In August, it looks like they mined about 21.78 days based on the number of miners that were installed here. So like I said, about 2/3 of the month, that's how they calculated their hash rate, being almost 2/3 compared to where it should be installed wise. Okay, then going back up here, price targets here is going to be, for me, 30 cents to 45 cents on right now. So the analysts actually have them a little bit higher than I do. And then if we're looking forward, using the last numbers for August going forward, 7 months before the having event, 5 months afterwards, I'm looking at 18 cents to 28 cents. So they're pretty close to being fairly valued in my opinion. They're at 22 cents right now, not too far off from where they should be. Now, if they start growing in the next couple months before the event, that could obviously change things for them. And with any of these small miners, they really do need to grow before the having event. And let's take a quick look at their efficiency here. Their efficiency is going to be about 27.35, it looks like, when everything is installed. So it won't be too bad. They'll be at least under the 30 joules per terahash average that we believe is going to be pretty much the line in the sand as far as which miners are going to be profitable, which ones are not going to be profitable come having event, but it also depends on where Bitcoin is at that point. Okay, so that's it for DMG. Let me know what you guys think of them. Let's get into the next one. Next is going to be Hive. So Hive Digital provides August 2023 production update and reports over 2.5x growth in AI compute infrastructure. It's kind of interesting that they're doubling down on that a little bit. And we'll talk about that a little bit here. But here's a summary. Hive produced 274 Bitcoin in the month of August. Hive ended the month with 3.69 exahash of mining. And then here we have the AI and HPC update. So the company notes it recently announced that its AI and HPC infrastructure compute tripled. Thus, the new order with Supermicro further increases the company's capacity by a factor of 2.5. Once installed, these servers will provide the compute backbone to allow 2,400 of our NVIDIA GPUs to perform AI and HPC compute, in addition to our 400 NVIDIA GPUs, which were part of our successful beta test earlier this year, where we realized 1 million of annual run rate revenue. So that's good there. The company expects all of these Supermicro servers to be installed and operational by the end of October 2023, so not too far away. This is a major milestone towards our year-end target of realizing 15 million of annual run rate revenue from this growing phase of our business. So that would be actually good. It would be also nice to see what are their profit margins like on this side of the business. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be anywhere near where Bitcoin is when Bitcoin goes in a bull run or anything like that, but that's usually only looking at maybe 15 months with really good revenue there, and then you go back into a bear market. So it's very cyclical in that sense. This could be more of a well, obviously long-term, stable revenue source for them. Okay, and let's see if we have anything else here. I think that's it. Talk about August production. We talked about that. They did not provide any information as far as what their HODL is right now, which was I was a little bit concerned about that. They've done this once before, then the next month they provide it in there. I don't know why they don't actually do that. It shouldn't be that hard to say, hey, we have X amount of BTC on our HODL right now. Not a big deal. So we're using the numbers that we had from last month, and let's take a look at the numbers that we do have for Hive. So if we look at Hive here, Hive has 84.172 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at $3.34. Market cap 281 million right now. The performance over the last 12 weeks has been pretty much the same as some of the other miners here. They were up 7.8 from 12 weeks ago, down 42% from 8 weeks ago, down 25% from 4 weeks ago. And they were up just barely 0.58 last week. Current hash rate is at 3.69. Future hash rate is supposed to be is going to be 3.69. They said that they want to get to 6 exahash by the halving event, I believe, if not higher at that point, but they have not reported on buying anything at this point. If you guys have any other data on that one, let me know if I missed something. Okay, BTC production, 274. It is up from July, which is nice to see. Also up from June, which is also kind of nice to see. And it is up from April, 273. So they are kind of staying ahead of the network hash rate a little bit, which is good. Month over month difference, BTC mine, you can see that there. BTC hodl, I have them at 2,032. That's what they reported in July. They didn't provide anything for August. That's where they are at right now. I doubt that they sold everything in that month, but we just won't know until we find until we get an update, really. BTC per exahash efficiency is 74.25, which is really good. They're always one of the top ones as far as efficiency is concerned, which is fantastic. But the growth hasn't been that great, especially after last year with the proof of stake of Ethereum. That cut into their profitability a lot, and they have been making up for it, but it's been a little bit of a slow ride, but nonetheless, it is getting better. Okay, monthly BTC sold. I'm guessing that they sold 274 Bitcoin, which is what they mined this month. Like I said, they didn't provide the hodl update. And then total petahash here, or exahash, however way you want to look at it, has been increasing here ever since December, where they bottomed out at 2 exahash. They're currently at 3.69 exahash right now, and it has been a pretty good steady rise here in hash rate, which is good to see. Monthly mining revenue, their best was their last year, this month, 11.6 million, where they still had the GPU mining with Ethereum. September was a partial month with that. That's why it got cut down pretty big. And October was a full month without it. So you can see the pretty sizable difference here. Obviously, Bitcoin was coming down as well, along with Ethereum during that time frame, but still almost half of that was generated by GPU mining itself. They bottomed out in December with 3.62 million, and then they've obviously had a really good run up here through the first half of the year, getting to 8.38 million in May. That was based on transaction fees with the Bitcoin network as well, helping out a lot of these miners. But then ever since then, they've been kind of around between 7 and 8 million in revenue, looks like. 7.63 million currently in August, possibly. Hash rate growth, you can see that the growth has been pretty positive here for the most part this year, I guess you could say. Last year, towards the end, it was coming down, obviously. BTC sold value, how much they sold. Quarterly results, we talked about that when we do quarterly updates. And then institutions and analysts actually went down here to 99 from 100. But the shares increased to 14.15 million compared to 13.7, so that's good there. Percentage also increased to 16.54 from 16.11, which is good. We have a 1 strong buy rating, 2 buy ratings. Price target is at $7 for the high, $6.26 for the average, and the low is up to $4.78. Both the average and low have increased from prior months, so that's good there. Miners, as far as what they were operating here in August, let's go to August here really quick. We did get rid of some of the older generation miners, the 90 terahash miners here, the 87 terahash miners as well. Go to the 90 here, waiting for an update from them as far as how many more they're going to get rid of. But we do have some miners here, it looks like, that still may need to get installed here, and I have to add these into it. That one, those were added in recently, and then these over here. Okay, so we do have a little bit of growth left. Looks like maybe another 84 petahash possibly, based on what they reported here. And in August, they were running for about pretty much the full month, 31 days on everything. And then from the GPUs, they do still run some GPUs that mine in Bitcoin. That got them to 183,000 in revenue from that. So that definitely helped out. And that's how we got the 7.631, which should be right. Yep, it goes all the way to the bottom. Just want to double check, which is what we have here for what they mined in Bitcoin. All right. Next, as far as their valuation here, looking backwards, the last 3 quarters and the current quarter that we're in, 50% net income, we're looking at $6.85 to $10.42. They're currently at $3.34. I do think that they are undervalued. If we look at future revenue based on the previous month of August, multiply that times 7 before the halving event, and then the 5 months afterwards at 50%, we're looking at $6.46 to $9.69. Still way undervalued on that. So, and if Bitcoin starts running up anytime here before the halving and after the halving, that's obviously going to change the numbers here for them because they're going to be generating more revenue. And it's the same for all the miners here for the most part. Actually, it is for the better part of everybody. Okay, based on that, like I said, I think they're still undervalued. I do like the fact that they are growing here their hash rate, and they're looking to get to about 6 exahash, which is good. And they are also trying to diversify a little bit, as other companies are. Hut 8, Iris Energy as well, getting into the AI stuff. But As long as they can generate a pretty good profit on that, I'm okay with it. It's obviously not as not as exciting as maybe Bitcoin is, and it's not as cyclical as Bitcoin is. So it's going to be more steady income for them than the cyclical nature of Bitcoin that we have right now. All right, so let me know what you guys think of Hive, and let's get into the next one. So after this, we got Bitdeer. Bitdeer announces August 2023 production or operation updates, and here's what we have here. There we go. Self-mining is now at 7.2 exahash. Really good increase here from the July that they had at 3.8, so they installed quite a bit there. Cloud hash rate actually went down to 1.5 from 1.6, and then hosting actually also went down to 12.6 from 12.7. So things are being changed around there a little bit. And then Bitcoin mined self-mining only is 383. They don't include what they got for hosting or the cloud hash rate or anything like that, which would be nice to see as well. That way we could at least get a better figure on how things stack up. But nonetheless, I did some updates to their spreadsheet here, which you guys will see here in a minute here. So Bitdeer has right now 111 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at 11.53. Market cap 1.28 billion right now. The performance over the last 12 weeks has been kind of flat if you want to really look at it. 12 weeks ago, they were up 11.4. 8 weeks ago, down 9.3. 4 weeks ago, 1%. And then this week, they're down 9.2. So it's pretty flat here over the last 12 weeks. Not a lot of change there. Current hash rate is about 7.2. Future hash rate is 20.287. Why do I have that? 20, did I mix something up? 22. Oh, I think I put that in there for some calculations that I was doing based on including the hosting as well in there, just so I can get a better number as far as how profitable they are, what they could possibly be worth. Okay. Excuse me. BTC HODL, they don't HODL anything here. Here's our BTC production. Nice increase in August, obviously from the 220 in July to 383 in August. That's great. Month over month difference, you can take a look at that. BTC HODL as well, nothing there. Bitcoin per exahash efficiency is down to 53.2, so definitely down towards, I wouldn't say towards the end of everybody else, but in the middle, not at the higher end, but towards the middle part of things. BTC sold, they've been selling everything that they've mined, it looks like. Hash rate has been increasing here, or was stuck for a couple months, and maybe not, maybe it's because I don't have the data for it. They just went public, I believe in April or something like that, so we started getting data for that. But they were stuck at 3.8 through May, June, July, and then a nice increase here in August. Value and revenue, so you can see that that has been coming up here, which is good to see as well. Hash rate difference, they installed about 3.4 exahash here in August, which was definitely a sizable increase there. BTC sold value, how much they sold, pretty much whatever they mined, they basically sold. We don't have a lot of quarterly data for them. We only have Q1 and Q2 of this year, and we're still waiting on Q3, I believe, for them, if I'm not mistaken, or Q2 might be their Q3. Last 4 quarters operating costs, we covered that already. Looking down here at some of the numbers here, institutions did decrease 13, but shares actually went up to 6.6 million to 10% roughly of the company, and we still have we got an increase in buy ratings for them, so now we have 2 instead of 1. 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sell. Price target is at $20. Average is at $18.50. Low is at $17, and that's up from the $10.80 that they had across the board here previous month, which is good to see. Them kind of coincides with what I have for them a little bit here, and we'll take a look at why that is. I did include some data here for them. So I now have self-mining for them and hosting. Hosting is kind of estimated based on what they report in the quarterly results, trying to keep the percentages in line with that a little bit. So here's hosting quarterly estimates right now, and then we're doing total estimates as well. So I'm including those numbers in up top. But here's what we installed this time around in August. In August, we added another, looks like, what do we add here? Well, we added another 25,600 miners they give us about the 2.816 exahash added to them. And we also added the 6,250 of these 500 or 583 petahash added to them, which were 93.4 terahash miners. Okay, now combined with the hosting, they're at 20.287, and that's because I added that in here, and the hosting is down here as well. I'm trying to calculate that at like the same amount of days. Maybe they didn't mine exactly the same amount of days, but I'm guessing that they might have. So that's kind of what I'm basing my figures on as far as numbers for them, because I thought the numbers that I did have for them were a little bit low And looking back at the revenues that they had, if we look back, let's take a look at it down here. So if we look at the revenues, they had self-mining was for Q2, which was, let me see, when was this reported? It doesn't say here. But I believe this was their Q3, which is, or no, that's correct, Q2. I'm getting mixed up with Q3, which we're currently in. So Q2 numbers are correct. Self-mining came in at 21.5 million. Cloud hash came in at 18 million. And then general hosting was at 27 million. So definitely a large amount there, large number. What else do we have here? So total revenue was at 93 million. Based on that, looking at just self-mining at 21 million, it didn't make sense to use that number alone. I had to add something into it to kind of fairly value them. But it's going to be an estimate. So we'll see how close we can get to it based on the quarterly results that we're going to get for Q3, which we are currently in, which we'll get in about 2.5 months or so. But based on that, I have them at the last, let me see here, the last 3 quarters and the current quarter at about 189 million in revenue total, roughly. All right, we'll see how close we can get to that. 50% net income, P of 15, looking at $13.47 to a 75% net income margin of $20.21. Now, if we're looking into the future going forward, we're still looking at $20.07 to $30.10 potentially, because they did increase their hash rate here tremendously in the last month. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm seeing that there at 1153. I would think that they are currently undervalued a little bit. Or if you look at the lower part of things, 1347, that's kind of, we're not too far off from it, right? They were above that just a couple, I would say maybe what, 8 weeks ago. They were above $13 or something like that. They have been coming down here ever since, like everybody else. So I do think that they are currently undervalued based on this. And I think that's it. I only wish I would have more data as far as what they're going to be getting as far as miners going forward, how much more they're going to be growing their hash rate, things like that. Not a lot of data is available for them as far as going back before they're before they went public, and don't know if they bought any miners back then. To be, if they bought miners back then, they might be coming in now, and we'll just update this as we get information as far as how much their hash rate has grown on that information. Okay, so that's kind of the way things are going to work. And then let me know what you guys think of this. If you guys have any questions on it, comments, let me know down below, and we'll get to it there. All right, let's get to the next one here, which is going to be, I believe, our last one here. Yep. So Core Scientific announces August 2023 production and operation updates. And here's what we have from them. The company continues to work through Chapter 11 reorganizing process and aims to emerge in the 4th quarter, which I looked at their latest filing on this, and it looks like they're looking to get out possibly at the end of October, by the end of October. If not, it might happen sometime in November, but they are definitely working on that. And here's what we have for self-mining. They generated 965 Bitcoin. Self-mining energized hash rate was at 15.1. Bitcoin sold was 1,022. So they did sell a portion of the colocation Bitcoin produced and possibly all of their Bitcoin self-mined as well. So they definitely sold more than they produced here. Okay, data center self-mining, they talk about that. Colocation, grid support, and that's it. So not much new here. Let's take a look at the numbers that I do have for them, and we'll call it a day. Okay, Core Scientific, 375 million shares outstanding right now. That is going to change. Don't know exactly how much it's going to change, whether it's going to be a 50% dilution when they do get out of it to pay off the creditors and things like that. We'll have to see what the numbers come back at. But right now, this is where we're at. Market cap is at 289 million. Stock price is at 82 cents. They had a pretty nice run up here. I believe it was yesterday because of the news that they're going to be getting out of the Chapter 11 bankruptcy, possibly by October. So the stock did do pretty well yesterday. And then as far as how they've done in the last 12 weeks, they had a pretty good, well, if you bought them 12 weeks ago, you'd be up 87%. If you bought them 8 weeks ago, you'd be down 20%. From 4 weeks ago, you'd be down 15.8%. And then last week, you'd be up only 1.86%. And then you can also see that they don't hodl anything, or they might hodl something, but they pretty much don't report it, I don't think I saw it in it. They had any BTC hodl in there. Let me see here. Average self-mined, Bitcoin sold, Bitcoin proceeds. Yeah, I don't see anything about hodl. So I think they sell pretty much what they mine, even though they only sold a little bit less than what they mine combined with the colocation here. Okay, so that hodl is at 0. BTC production has been coming down, and the reason for that is because their network hash rate has basically been coming down. They've been selling miners beginning of the year a little bit to pay down some of their debt. So that has obviously affected things. They did have a pretty good stack here last year, BTC hodl, but they sold a lot of it down to, well, try to save the company and get out of potentially going into bankruptcy. They couldn't do that anyways. So they did sell quite a bit there, while the price of Bitcoin was coming down as well. Monthly difference of BTC mined here. You can see this chart. BTC per exahash efficiency, 63. So a little bit better than some of the other ones, but still not that great, not above 70. BTC sold, how much they've been selling here? They've been selling quite a bit here. Hash rate, you can see that hash rate peaked for the self-mining at 17 exahash in January. And then ever since then, it came down here a little bit through April, and then they got some more miners back in here. And in August, they said they're at 15.1 exahash, so I don't know if that's they're using the average or what. I haven't said 15.2 on that one. Revenue peaked in May here at 36.13 million, which is really good. And then it came down in June, up a little bit here in July, and then back down here in August and 26. Obviously, Bitcoin prices come down. You can see the hash rate difference month over month. BTC sold value, how much they've been selling. They've been definitely selling quite a bit there. In the last 4 quarters revenue, you can take a look at it here, along with other metrics that we talked about in the quarterly results. Institutions continue to go down though. Down to 23 institutions now. Shares is at 15.4 million right now from 18.7. So institutions are getting out. Unfortunately, they're down to 4% being owned by institutions. We have now only 1 hold rating for them. Before we had 3, and price target is still $1 for the high, average at 75 cents, and the low at 50 cents. So they're definitely between that. And I think they should be up a little bit higher than that. As far as what they mined in August here, let's take a look at that really quick. They were operating for about 27 days out of the month, it looks like, based on the information that I do have on them, which generated the 26.87 million, which coincides with the Bitcoin average price in August and what they mined. So that's kind of what we got them at. And based on all that, going backwards, looking at the past, the last 3 quarters and the current quarter that we're in, with a P of 10, I don't know what their growth is going to be. We could probably even lower that. Why don't we do that? Why don't we lower them? Because I don't know if they're going to be growing anything beyond that. We know that they're going to be getting some Bitmain miners possibly. So there might be some growth there. So let's do it at 10. $4.69 to $7.03, right? Looking forward, we're looking at $3.40 to $5.10 because the revenue has been coming down, because Bitcoin prices have been coming down as well. But if they get more miners in from Bitmain and get those installed before the halving event, Bitcoin starts going up, they could definitely fetch more. But here's the caveat. If they dilute 50% of the shares to get out of bankruptcy, that's going to obviously cut things in half here. So we're looking at maybe $2.30 to $3.50, or down here, what is it going to be? $1.70 to $2.55, something like that. Okay. If they dilute more than that, well, then you're going to be looking at even lower numbers for that going forward as well. All right. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I do think that they're undervalued. Obviously, the reason they are undervalued is because of Chapter 11 bankruptcy. If they can get out of it and the creditors are all in line and approve the plan and everything else, they could be out by the end of October sometime or early November, possibly. We'll have to see. And then we'll have to see what kind of dilution they do for the existing shareholders that are left basically holding the bags right now. Okay. And then how can they grow going forward? So it's definitely been a rough year for them ever since last year, right around this time. Things started getting worse for them. And they're finally restructuring, getting things under control. And just maybe they can get out of this relatively quickly, depending on where Bitcoin goes and everything else, and do well going forward. Okay, so that is it for those. Let's take a quick look at the markets, see what's going on there. But as always, I wanted to point this out to you guys. Patreon members, thank you for your continued support. You'll get these spreadsheets updates later on tonight. And I'll do the screenshots of all of these dashboards for you guys that are the YouTube members as well. Those will be out probably tomorrow as well. So I have quite a bit of work ahead of me left. And what was I going to say? Oh, Patrons, it's only $4 right now. It will be going up to $5 at the end of this month into October. I'll be raising the prices because I haven't raised the prices on that in over probably now 2 years. So obviously things have gone up in price. So I got to raise it up a little bit here, so I can at least pay for the lights and the internet to do all this data crunching for you guys. All right. So if you want to get the data, join me there and support the work that I do. I'd appreciate it. All right. Let's take a look at the markets really quick. See what happened today with Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a little bit of it had a little rally here on Thursday, fell back down today. And let's see, did we cross over to the new day? Yeah, we did. So today we were down 1.41%. We closed at 25,906. We are obviously now basically, yesterday we went up to the 20-day moving average and bounced, got stopped at it. Today we bounced below it again. unfortunately, and we bounced below our support line of 26,000 as it is. The only thing that I can see here on the RSI right now, if you look at it, RSI is much higher than where we were. I mean, price is right now, where's the price? Price is right here. Price is definitely about the same spot where it was prior to that, a little bit lower, but RSI is way much higher than where it was right now. So I'm thinking that we could possibly still go down a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to the 23,000 mark sometime in the next couple of weeks here or months before the end of the year. It just doesn't look great right now on the chart. Look at the forward chart as well here. We can see that the price has been basically, let's see where we are here, back here. Price has been flat. RSI has been going up as well on the 1 hour chart. Looking for some kind of reversal on this to see if things are going to change for us. But right now I'm just not seeing it. We can see here that RSI is here. Last time price was over here, was back here. Oh, I mean, RSI is lower, which is a good sign here from where we were in price. So we might have a little bit of a start of a reversal here on the 1 hour chart, but we'll see. Okay, as far as the miners did today, a lot of them were in the red today, except for Argo. The big ones that were down today was DMG was down 6.21%. Marathon obviously was down 11.73% on the day. iResenge was up 4.24%, and then everybody else was like down 2, 3, 4%. For the most part, 1% or even less than that. And for full disclosure, I did buy another 500 shares today of CleanSpark at $4.39 roughly. So I'm continuing to stack there and dollar cost averaging as best I can. And that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of data, a lot of stuff going on there. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on any of these. And if you guys are also buying in right now, dollar cost averaging in, or if you're doing options or anything like that, love to hear it from you guys there. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. Over the weekend, I will be doing the video on where the Bitcoin miners could possibly be with the all-time high for Bitcoin based on the numbers that I ran on getting the spot Bitcoin ETF approved, what kind of impact that would have on the 1% being put in from all of the cash that's going to be available possibly through the assets under management for all of the firms. Okay, so it's going to be based on that, and it's also going to be based on the 180,000 or so that I had targeted for Bitcoin with this next bull run. But that's coming out this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, it helps me out tremendously, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. All right, have a great one. Bye.